Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Connect. We have a very cool demo today using a unique TI technology called the Dynamic Multi-Protocol Manager. I'm really excited to see it in action. We have Chris Burney here. He's from the R&D team working on the Dynamic Multi-Protocol Manager, or DMM. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Yeah, no problem, Nick.
So a couple questions before we actually see the demo. Can you explain to me exactly what the DMM is and what are the advantages of it?
Yeah. So you explained how it was the Dynamic Multi-Mode Protocol Manager, and basically that's a lot of words, right? So to sum it up, it's basically a module that we're able to control two stacks, whether that be something like a sub 1 or a 2.4. So in this case, we have Bluetooth and Zigbee at the same time on the same radio, both concurrent, so that both stack operations can be maintained the whole time, basically seamlessly, and you're not losing connection on either.
Okay, so you're on a single radio, one device.
Exactly.
Running two standards.
Correct.
And does it switch between the standards, or how does that actually work?
Yeah, so our DMM module is basically reading in the radio commands that each standard is providing to the radio, and we're kind of intercepting that, and we're scheduling it in such a way that both standards can maintain the requirements that they need to maintain their connections, while still allowing both standards to perform that way.
Okay, so the device is actually switching, but to the user or to the outside observer, you're maintaining two
Exactly.
connections with
And
two
again,
standards.
it's important to mention on a single radio.
Okay, and this device, the DMM, that's part of the SimpleLink SDK, the whole SimpleLink ecosystem that we've talked about on the
Yes.
show before?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. And so this demo, can you overview me really quick before we get down into it of what technologies we're seeing the DMM use?
Yeah. So right here you'll see the Amazon Echo Plus, and so this is going to act as our Zigbee coordinator. Now you can imagine this in your house with your own Zigbee network that you have up and running with your smart home, and then connected to that, maybe you have a set of lights in your living room or your kitchen, whatever, what have you. So this is all something that's already been connected. This is inside of your house. And now we'll see that you have this launch pad. Now this represents the switch, the light switch that you just bought off the shelf that contains this TI part, and you want to commission that into your network. So we have our home here. This is going to contain the Echo and the Hue light.
Okay.
And so we're going to be bringing in the light switch, and we'll be commissioning into the network, and it'll seamlessly connect and be able to start controlling the light.
Okay, and so the DMM here on our TI Launchpad, what device is it running on?
Yes, so this is the CC26X2.
Okay, and so the DMM there is running both a Zigbee network, which is the Echo and the Light, and a BLE network, so you can interact with your phone.
Exactly, and that's actually how we're going to be commissioning it into the Zigbee network. I'll be using my phone, and so we'll be having a BLE connection right here, where I'll be reading BLE characteristics, very general characteristics, so you don't need anything special. And those characteristics will be able to talk to the Zigbee side of the stack. So that's the other stack in the DMM. You have the Bluetooth, or the BLE, and the Zigbee.
Sure.
And through Zigbee, we will communicate with the coordinator and the Hue light here.
All right.
This is all Zigbee.
Very cool. Yeah, and we've had a previous guest, Ryan, and actually Steve as well. We've had two other looks at Zigbee. They covered the interoperability, how you can take a TI device and an off-the-shelf product and kind of operate a Zigbee network.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, check those other videos out to learn more. But for now, let's get into it. Let's see the DMM in action.
Yeah, so to get going, the first thing we'll want to do is let the Alexa know that we're going to be bringing something else into it. So make sure that it's looking for new devices. So what I'll do then is I'll go into the Amazon app here, and we'll say to add a device, and we'll set it open so that it's discovering for new devices. And then I'll just go to any off-the-shelf BLE characteristic reader and writer. Sure. So this is called Light Blue Explorer. You can get that on the Android or the Apple app stores. So we'll connect to it. And right down here, we'll have a characteristic called Provision Zigbee End Device. Right now, we have it waiting to see a value of AA. That value doesn't necessarily matter. That can be whatever you want it to be, but we have it set up to look for a value of AA.
Sure.
And so what it's doing in the background right now, you'll see that the LED is blinking. That means it's attempting to join the network. And now that it's a stable LED here, it has connected to the network. You'll be able to see that the Bluetooth connection has remained stable because the app here hasn't closed out of the connection. The fact that I can still come around here and read and write characteristics, that means the BLE network hasn't been disturbed. And so right now what I want to show you is that we have actually connected to the Zigbee network, and we'll be able to control the light. So it's already been all set up. We have let me show you this again here, this light on-off characteristic.
Yep.
So what we can do now is we can write a 0 to it. It'll turn off the hue light. And then we can write a 1 to it, and it'll come turn it back on.
So you're sending a Bluetooth command from the phone.
Exactly.
Is it routing through the switch and then controlling the light, or the switch or the Echo and turning on and off this light?
Yeah, I'm writing to a BLE characteristic on the BLE stack side of things.
Yeah.
And then the DMM module is then, we know we're looking for this value, so we send that to the Zigbee stack. The Zigbee stack will then do nothing to do with DMM, it just does Zigbee operations, right? So it'll send that Zigbee command to its parent, whoever it is on the mesh network,
Yeah.
and that will eventually route itself to the light that we have binded to.
Okay, very cool. And you can also control this light directly from the Echo Plus as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And so we can also do it from the switch itself. Since this is a physical switch, you should be able to do it from the physical switch just as you were toggling it on the wall.
Okay, very cool. So if I unmute Alexa, since we've unmuted Alexa, I should be able to control the light from the Echo as well.
Exactly.
Alexa, turn off the hue light.
Okay.
Ah, very cool.
And say you didn't want it turned off, I'll turn it right back on.
From the switch?
Yeah, from the switch.
So I can imagine the use case, somebody buys a switch off the shelf, they bring it home, they use BLE with their phone to add it
any
to
smartphone.
the... Okay, and they commission it into the Zigbee network, and then they can now control their light switch from their phone, from the Echo Plus, or from the physical
switch itself. Exactly.
Very cool. Yeah. So if people out there want to get started on this, where can they look to start playing with this technology?
Yeah, so you can go to the TI Resource Explorer or SimpleInk, and this will be out there in the SDKs for you.
Very cool. Yeah, and thank you so much for coming on and demoing this for us.
Absolutely.
The DMM, the Dynamic Multi-Protocol Manager, it's a very important technology. I think it's going to open up a lot of different cool end equipment applications in the future. Guys, if you have any feedback, be sure to tweet at us at Sensor2Cloud. You can talk about DMM, where you think it's going, or you can suggest other topics or other demos that you would like to see. If you want more information specifically on this technology, go to ti.com/multistandard. If you want to learn more about just the SimpleInk platform as a whole, go to ti.com/SimpleInk. Thanks for joining. Be sure to tune in next week. We're going to have an expert. We're going to sit down and talk about a very cool topic that you're not going to want to miss. Thanks again, Chris. Thanks,
problem.
everybody.
Thank you.